Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, actually, as I record this, the jury has been given the case since about 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and they are now deliberating to see if we're going to get a guilty verdict. And I'm recording this. It's a bit after 6:30. I'm in the same time as New York. I'm in Eastern Time. As right before I hit record, I didn't see any updates. So I don't know if the jury is still deliberating for the evening or if they've decided to go home and complete it in the morning. So if I hear anything more, I will definitely let you guys know. But I did want to finish off the coverage here, as we do have the end of Pollina's testimony, cross-examination, and today's closing arguments. So, and of course, her ugly mug, in my opinion, graced the Newsday paper today, as it did yesterday. And again, she seems to look the same in every photo. But hey, at this point, I'm just praying that the jury does the right thing. And so we will see. So again, this is the finishing up of her on the stand. Angela Pollina at murder trial denies she knew Thomas Valva had hypothermia the morning he died. Isn't that interesting? Because she told her youngest daughter, when her daughter asked her what's wrong with Tommy, she said he's hypothermic. Either you knew or you didn't know, Angela. You can't have it both ways. Angela Pollina testifying at her murder trial Wednesday. Now again, this is finishing up yesterday into today, so I'm going to try to sift through it because it was updated this morning. Testified Wednesday, denied she knew 8-year-old Thomas Valva was now suffering from hypothermia on the morning he died, despite the prosecution's audio recording of Pollina acknowledging that Thomas couldn't walk and was hypothermic. Yeah, she said it on at least a couple occasions, so denial's just not a river. It's not just a river. In a series of testy exchanges with veteran prosecutor Kerriann Kelly during a lengthy cross-examination, the Center Morich's mother of 3 claims she used the term hypothermic simply as a description for cold and denied that Thomas, the son of her ex-fiancé, Michael Valva, was struggling to walk. Instead, Pollina said on the witness stand that Thomas was alert and she didn't perceive him to be in any danger that morning. Wow, has her story changed? I'm not a doctor, said Pollina. Thank gosh for that. Who took the stand for the second day and testified with little emotion. He didn't appear at that time to be in any danger. Again, Angela, you're not a doctor, so how the hell do you even know? Kelly noted that Pollina had pronounced the boy to be hypothermic or freezing when her daughter saw Thomas and asked why he couldn't walk at 8:41 a.m., an hour before Valva called 911. She asked, "Did you ever tell those first responders that Thomas was hypothermic?" "No, I did not," said Pollina. "And you never said, 'It's freezing, let's bring those boys inside'?" Kelly asked. "No, he was taking care of his kids," Pollina said of Valva. Yeah. Pollina on trial in Suffolk County Court in Riverhead on charges of second-degree murder and child endangerment. Of course, we know all this. All right, but Pollina, she's a one-time medical biller, attempted to distance herself from Thomas's plight the day he died, saying Valva, an ex-NYPD officer, put him in the garage that night. And when she saw Valva hosing him off outside in the freezing cold the next morning after he soiled his pants, she was shocked and later tried to help Thomas. Valva was convicted last year of murder and child endangerment charges and was sentenced to 25 years to life and is now residing in an upstate prison. Kelly hit on several key elements of charges Pollina is facing, getting the defendant to say she and Valva agreed for the boys to sleep in the garage on the night before Thomas died, and to acknowledge she was the mother figure in the household and had a duty to care for the boys. Were you or were you not in agreement with Michael Valva that Thomas and Anthony, as of the date that Thomas died, were to sleep in the garage? Kelly asked Pollina. I was aware, yes. And you agreed to that, Kelly said. I agreed with him, Pollina said. Kelly also confronted Pollina about the timeline of events she laid out in her direct testimony Tuesday, including her story that she sat on the garage floor and held Thomas and his urine-soaked towel and wiped away his tears on the morning he died. Yeah, that really ticks me off. Can anybody see Angela doing that with one of the Valva boys? No, that did not happen at all. You told this jury you sat on the urine-soaked garage floor holding Thomas on your lap, yet you deleted the video that would have shown that, Kelly asked. Yes, said Pollina, referring to the home surveillance video that was used as prosecution evidence during the trial. And all that video was video that could have shown what actually happened to Thomas, Kelly continued. Yes, said Pollina, who was captured on surveillance video, telling Valva that she had deleted another portion of the video. Yeah, I know I spoke about this yesterday, but I'm really hoping that this particular cross-examination is really nailed into the jury's head while they're in deliberations. The child that you would never ever let sit on the couch, now you have him on your lap, Kelly asked. Yes, he was still alert. No, he wasn't alert. Come on. Kelly further pressed Pollina on her contention that Thomas was still conscious just minutes before police and a paramedic and EMT arrived. Those witnesses testified that Thomas's lips were blue and he appeared to be already dead when they encountered him in the basement. I didn't see that he was blue, said Pollina. The truth is you didn't care one bit about what happened to Thomas until it impacted you. That's not true, Pollina protested. Kelly pointed out that everyone else in the family slept comfortably inside the warm house, while Thomas and Anthony were in the freezing garage. And again, even the dog was in the house. Did you and Michael ever give the garage a try? This is another one I love that she asked about. No, Pollina replied. Of course not, because why the heck would I sleep in a 19-degree garage without any blankets or any kind of heater? That's crazy. It sure is, Angela. It is insane. And that's exactly what you did to those boys. Supreme Court Justice Timothy Massey stopped Kelly's questioning several times to instruct Pollina, including telling her to wait until Kelly finished her question before answering. Okay, we went over that, where he was lecturing Pollina about making sure that she doesn't talk when she's not supposed to. And the prosecutor finished asking her question. And of course, let's see. Kelly also attempted to chip away at Pollina's testimony that she was simply following the lead of Valva by keeping his sons in the garage, showing text messages from Pollina, including one which she demanded Valva remove any comforts, like books, from the garage. It's not that I got my way. It's just that I didn't want him to keep making it a house for them, said Pollina. Because, gee, what's wrong with making sure that your children are comfortable and have everything that they need? That's what you're supposed to do as a parent, Angela. Kelly pressed Pollina to admit that she was the impetus for putting the kids outside in the cold and then in the garage, when she denied, despite being confronted with a text exchange in which Valva pleaded to try a new disciplinary tact. No, they were his methods, said Pollina. Pollina's attorney, Matthew Toohey, who will continue questioning his client Thursday, said he didn't regret putting Pollina on the witness stand. She wanted to take the stand, and she's doing the best she can. Okay. All right. So that kind of finished off the cross-examination. And so let me tell you what. I'm very glad that Kelly has been, we hammered her. I really, really am. I believe that she's probably the best prosecutor, DA to be able to handle that. And like I said before, I really, really wish I could have seen this trial, and especially the cross-examination of Angela. And this is actually an article that I came across while I was trying to find some updates. And it's actually a bit of a different news source than I typically have found. It's actually an Italian English digital daily. It's like La Voce di New York. So I found this to be pretty interesting. And like I said, this trial, as we know, those that have been following it, it hasn't got really any big coverage. So we've kind of stuck with the main 3 or 4. You've had Newsday, you've had Patch, Bronx, News 12, and I believe it's News 5 also. So you pretty much got them, and I believe the Post has had a few, but there's really not been much. And then, of course, once the verdict came down for Michael last year, then it had a little more national coverage. But beyond that, yeah, it's not much going on. Deliberations in trial of Angela Pollina, accused of killing Thomas, have begun. All right, and there's their mug shots. Hoping we could soon put that one behind bars permanently on the right. The left is already there. Summations wrapped up Thursday in the murder trial of Pollina, former fiancé of Michael Valva, an ex-NYPD officer convicted of murder in the death of his 8-year-old son, Thomas, who died of hypothermia after being forced to sleep in his father's frigid garage, as Assistant District Attorney Kerriann Kelly fiercely delivered her closing arguments. Kelly painted a vivid picture of, well, okay, that's an error. Vivid picture of, you mean Angela Pollina. That's a bit of an error. Hopefully they'll fix that. Saying she acted in concert with Valva and was responsible for brandishing cruel punishment, forcing the boys to sleep in a freezing garage, go without food, and attend school in urine-soaked clothes, sneakers, and pull-ups, all because of their sin of being autistic, she said. Valva and Pollina were arrested back on January 24th, 2020, and charged with second-degree murder and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Each faced 25 years to life in prison, and both pleaded not guilty. Jurors convicted Valva of second-degree murder and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Jurors convicted Valva of second-degree murder and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. The boy froze to death in the Center Moriches garage. His father was sentenced to 25 years to life behind bars. Kelly began her summation by humanizing the victim, who had repeatedly been referred to as the boy. The boy has a name. His name is Thomas Valva. Pollina's defense attorney, Matthew Toohey, and even Pollina herself during her testimony had repeatedly referred to Thomas as the boy. He was, she said, at the age of 5, brutally murdered at the hands of the people who were supposed to protect him from harm at any turn. Now the jury will deliberate and decide Pollina's fate. So again, that's a brief article here, but thanks to this publication for putting this out there. And like I said, the guy at the left, he was found guilty last year. And we are praying and hoping that the one on the right, she'll be found just as guilty as her ex-fiancé by this jury. And just like Kerriann Kelly said, he's not a boy. His name is Thomas. His name is Thomas Valva, Angela. He was an 8-year-old child who did nothing wrong. He was an 8-year-old boy, and all he wanted was to be taken care of. And you, along with his father, made his life a living hell. And all I can hope for is that this jury can make the rest of your days as close to that as possible. Because you don't deserve to be free. You deserve to be locked up in a cage, just like Michael is. You don't deserve any great things because you were a horrific person to these poor innocent children. Anyone who hurts a child does not deserve to live free and enjoy the luxuries of a free person. Really, they don't. So that's pretty much where we are at this point. Soon as I hear the verdict, I'll let y'all know. Again, the fact that we have no cameras in the courtroom make it a lot more difficult. I'm hoping that we all together can change that, because there's just not enough transparency in these cases, and this is another example of a case that should be available for you and me and everyone else who wants to see this justice prevail. We should be able to watch this trial. And if they can't air it on national TV, they should have some YouTube channel that's able to have a camera inside the courtroom that we can all watch and see the proceedings, because that is our right as a United States citizen and a taxpayer and all that. So let's hope we can change that. But for now, I pray that this jury makes the right decision. And my heart's with Justina and the boys right now, as well as the girls during this tough time. And with that said and done, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.